Hello everyone, welcome to Acceptance and Beyond. This is a continuation of the series on sensory processing disorder. Previously we spoke about what is sensory processing disorder and we stopped with what are the different 8 senses. So this video is going to be basically about the most important sensory system, that is the tactile system. I am Dr. Preeti. I am also a mother of a child with Rett syndrome. I am not a professional, but I'm a parent who's just trying to spread awareness to other parents. Okay, so let's talk about what is the tactile system, right? Tactile system refers to touch and it begins as early as when the child is in utero, that is when the child is in the womb. Now, it's the first sensory system to develop. Okay, it's the largest sensory organ in the body, and the sense of touch means different properties of touch: light touch, deep touch, pressure. Okay, deep touch or pressure, pain, temperature, okay, and different textures. So these are different properties of touch which come into the tactile system. Now we all experience world through our senses. And if you notice a child, okay, the child starts exploring the environment through their senses, all their senses, but most predominantly their touch. They are able to touch things around them. Okay, they will grasp objects, take an object, mouth an object, manipulate the object. Okay, and because of this, they are able to understand what exactly is happening in the environment. Okay, and this is the way they learn about the environment. So a child whose tactile system, there is a dysfunction in the tactile system, they will struggle to learn about their environment. And the earliest ways we connect with our child is through skin-to-skin contact. So the touch input from a very young age, it leads to a very comfortable and very secure, gives them makes them feel really secure and comfortable. Now, what are the functions of touch or the functions of the tactile system? There are 3 different functions. One is the tactile perception, tactile discrimination, and the protective. We will first talk about tactile perception. Now, tactile perception represents how the brain is brain's interpretation of the sense. That is what is tactile perception. Now, receptors are present all over the body. It's present internally, it's present externally. Externally, it's present all over the skin. Internally, it lines even the respiratory, the cardiovascular system, okay, the mouth, the oral cavity, the ears, the ear canal, and it also there are receptors which are present even in the muscles and the joints and tendons. Okay, so these receptors are responsible for picking up different kind of senses. Now, many of the receptors which are responsible for sensing different properties are there. All right. So let's take, for example, the tactile mechanoreceptors. These are the receptors which are present on the surface of the skin. There are some receptors which are present near the surface, and there are some which are present deeper. All right. The receptors that are present near the surface, for example, is the Meissner's corpuscles and the Merkel's disc. The Meissner's corpuscles, it is responsible for picking up information of light touch, whereas the Merkel's disc is responsible for picking up information about touch, vibration, and sense of fine details, that is texture. The receptors that are located deeper in the skin, like your Ruffini's ending and Pacinian corpuscles. Okay, the Ruffini's endings are responsible to pick up stretch. Okay, whenever there is a stretch, this receptor will pick up that sensation. Whereas Pacinian corpuscles is responsible for deep pressure, rapid vibrations, and fine texture. And there are also nerve endings which are present in the skin, which is responsible to pick up pain and temperature. Like we mentioned in the previous, about when we spoke about sensory processing disorder, the receptor is responsible for just picking up these sensations. So the main function of the receptor is to receive the information. Okay, reception. That's it. And then there is transduction. That is all this information which it just picks up. This is sent to the brain through nervous pathways. That's called transduction. Next is the perception. That is, the brain is responsible to process and make sense of that information. Okay. So the brain is going to finally tell us, and the brain is going to interpret what kind of sensation has been picked up. The brain is going to tell us whether it was a light touch or a deep touch. Was it pain? Was it cold? Was it warm? Okay. So what happens to our children with sensory processing disorders? Some children are hypersensitive, some children are hyposensitive, and some are mixed. Okay. Because there are different receptors which are present and they detect different kinds of touch or different types of touch, a child can be under responsive to certain type of touch and over responsive to other type of touch. So let's talk about the different types of touch and what happens in SPD, right? Light touch. Light touch is the most annoying for our children with sensory processing disorder. They don't like to brush their teeth or comb their hair. They may even dislike just a kiss on their cheek. Now, they may even make a fuss when somebody taps on their back without their knowledge. So if you approach them from back, they get a little scared. Okay, they don't like their head being touched. They don't like their face being washed. All this is because of light touch. And the brain is there. It is possible that the brain is perceiving light touch as pain, and it's basically the child is interpreting light touch as pain. So just giving a small peck on the cheek can actually cause pain to these children. Okay, some kids even don't like tags on their clothes. They don't like loose clothing because it keeps rubbing on their skin, and it kind of, they feel very uncomfortable. Some children prefer to not wear clothes and run around naked. They don't like it because the brain is not processing the information right. It's giving the wrong signals to the child. Now, second is your deep touch. Deep touch is also called as pressure. Now, many of our children with SPD like deep touch. It gives a very calming effect to our children. Examples of deep touch is giving a deep massage, a tight bear hug, okay, and being squashed between pillows. These are examples of deep touch. Third is the vibration. Now, some children who are hypersensitive, they don't like it. So they don't like a vibratory brush, a vibratory comb, or massaging, okay, with a vibrating massager. They don't like these things. Whereas there is the other extreme of children who actually seek for it. So they enjoy being, brushed with a vibrating brush or a vibrating comb, or okay, and they'll seek for the input so much that if there is a washing machine, they might actually enjoy sitting on the washing machine to feel that vibration sense. The fourth is the temperature. Now, these receptors pick up hot, cold, right? So some children, they are very sensitive to change in temperature. Whereas you have the other extreme that the children are, they are not bothered by the extreme change of temperature. You might have a child who is wearing a lot of clothes in summer, or who doesn't want to wear any clothes even when it's, really cold. And these are the kids who have issues even with the temperature of the food that they eat. They are very specific on the kind of temperature of food that they require. And the last one is your pain and nociceptive receptors. See, for hypersensitive kids, even a small little cut by a paper of a book, it is perceived as really painful. So a small scrap on the knee, a small cut by a paper, all this sends, the brain is sending them signal that it's very painful. So as parents, we might wonder, why are they making such a big fuss with just a small scratch? But the brain is perceiving it as something really painful. That is why they are making a big fuss. Whereas on the other end, you have the hyposensitive kids. These are the children who don't even realize, they don't react to pain. They go for an immunization, they get an injection, they don't cry. They might walk, as they're walking, they might hit something and they may not even react. They may bang their head to the wall, they may not even flinch. Okay, so these are the children who are on the other extreme. Okay, so what happens in SPD are basically the modulation issues, where you have the brain which is over responsive or brain is under responsive. So the signs and symptoms of the children who are over responsive, or these are the children who are, avoid touch. Okay, they are also called as tactile defensive. Okay, one is they fear crowded places. They fear contact with others. See, what happens in a crowded place is you have a lot of people touching, right? And they don't like being touched. So they fear a crowded place. So many children, if you take them to a party, they will start crying, but they're fine at home. That's because they don't like a crowded place. They don't like the feeling of being touched, at the same time by multiple people. Then these children are the ones who get upset when their face or hands get messy. They do not like sensory play. When they're eating, they are very careful. If something is messy or stuck on their face, they might get irritated by it. And they dislike hair brushing, washing face, washing hair, cutting nails, brushing teeth, because it's all giving the light pressure. And, for some of them, they feel uncomfortable or feel painful. These are the children who are upset to walk on different textures or surfaces. Now, different textures and surfaces will give you different kind of tactile input, and they kind of avoid. They are so really over responsive to it that they kind of avoid. They might even walk on their tiptoes just to prevent their feet from touching the floor. They avoid certain clothes and textures. They don't like being touched. They don't like hugs, kisses. They have a very aversive response to non-painful stimuli. Okay, and they walk on tiptoes, avoid the feet to be placed on the floor. They may be extremely ticklish. They're sensitive to pain, and like I mentioned previously, they're sensitive to they could be just hyper-reacting to a small scratch. Okay, and they find cold or warm weather uncomfortable. Now, these kids are oversensitive, right? So they need to be exposed gradually to a different stimuli. So the brain starts to adapt, okay? And the brain should start to adapt and understand that this stimuli is not dangerous. So a touch, the brain should understand that a light touch is light touch and not pain. Okay, so it has to be a gradual process. We cannot forcefully take a child and say, get used to a crowded place and put him in a crowded place, or we cannot forcefully brush a child's teeth. That's not the way to do it. So you have to desensitize them slowly and gradually introduce them to that particular stimuli which they are aversive to, and slowly make their brain adapt to it. Then the signs and symptoms of children who are under-responsive. These are the children who are tactile seeking. They like to feel, they keep constantly touching anything and everything. They may not notice if there is food on their hands or their face or their hands. They might not even really bother about it. And they are very rough with children. This is because they are seeking touch. These kids require more input to perceive touch. So it's not that they want to hit or they are, doing it on purpose. They're not able to get that input. The brain is not getting adequate input. So they're kind of hitting more with force. So these are the children who will, kind of hit other children, or they might bite, pinch, head bang. They might crash onto the bed. They are kind of seeking for that tactile input. Okay, they're not doing it on purpose. They're trying to seek for the input. So what we can do is give them safe opportunities so that they can explore and get the right amount of input, so that they don't go through self-injurious behaviors in order to seek for the same input. These are the children who do not notice when they are touched lightly by others. They might not even react. And they are not affected by variation in temperature and high pain tolerance. They will not cry for an injection or fall, or if they bang their head to the wall, they might not even cry. Okay, so I will end this video right here. There are 2 more functions to be discussed about. We will be discussing about those 2 functions in the next video. That is tactile discrimination and tactile protection. Thank you.